WWE are planning a huge debut for an NXT call-up. Plus, Sasha Banks is teasing some big news this month, and another released WWE star could be returning soon. It's all in the wrestling news right now. A possible big call-up for one person off of the NXT brand that has really won the hearts and minds of creative, and that one person is Grayson Waller. I like Grayson Waller.
Yep.
A lot of love for Grayson Waller. And he's had a little flirtation with the main roster, working with AJ Styles, and that is set to continue, not with AJ Styles, but in terms of big things for the main roster.
There's, of course, all of the rumors that he may or may not be in and around the Bray situation.
Of course, yes. Like Bleeding Eyes, similar shirt to Mercy the Buzzard, possible Wyatt
He did
faction.
his own little thing with the lantern as well.
Yeah, he did, didn't he? And then it was never mentioned again. I see you, Grayson Waller. WrestleVotes told Give Me Sport, WWE really likes Grayson Waller and really sees something in him. He may stay down in NXT just so they can figure out something big for him, like Kevin Owens coming in and beating John Cena. They like him a lot. So that's one guy they're going to try and do something serious with. And I remember that Kevin Owens appearance.
Oh, God.
It was brilliant.
Yeah, so good. I think it's been so long since we've had something like that Jericho-esque just coming out and completely out of nowhere, sort of, like a big surprise, just boom, and it's just insertion straight away. I think that's, if you can get him to a point where he's white hot and people are just begging for him to be on the main roster, and then you just let it drag and then drop him. And I think that's, people are really going to respond to that well.
Yeah, it's you play a special game with that one. But I do love the fact that we're talking about that Kevin Owens call-up again, because that was great fun.
Oh, it was so good. But if they can do anything even like a degree toward that, it's going to be great. And I think he's somebody that's definitely seems like he's going to rip like that the hands off of any opportunity given to him. So I think, bright future ahead of him.
Bright future for Sasha Banks. Mercedes Fernando was talking on her Instagram, and she said, as time passes, there's been so much growth and so much beautiful opportunity and a journey that I have been loving. But as the time also goes on, the date is coming that I've been waiting for the past 6 months. And I can't wait. But I'm really going to make most of this November to make all my dreams happen in preparation for this date that I've been waiting for. I'm very excited, and I hope you guys come along for this journey, which I know a lot of you have been with me for so long. So thank you. But I just want to let you know there's going to be something so effing crazy coming. Now, a few outlets went, will Sasha Banks be at Crown Jewel? And no, because she says she's taking November off.
Well, she kind of hints at the fact she's going to do everything she can in November, but you got to think Michael Cole is warming up the voice for a giant. How can they coexist? So I don't know. It feels like she'd be a very big statement to drop at Survivor Series, not in any wrestling capacity, but having a return, or I don't know. But it could be something completely unrelated to wrestling, because Sasha's doing so much now in and around the entertainment sphere. It could be that she's getting, a major role in something. It could be any number of things. Exactly. It could be anything. So I think that while we're going to lean toward the fact it's potentially a wrestling return, that's where most of my stock lies. I would not be surprised if she was just like, yeah, I'm in this film, and it's like I'm in a major role, and it'll be like, oh, wow.
Well, whatever she does, she will shine. A few people, I listened to Stephen Larson, and they were saying, she feels like she's at a point where she's almost too big to do WWE now. Yeah, potentially.
Maybe she's going to come back on one of those sweet part-time deals.
I mean, she could, and put over some of the young talent.
I think she's got the sway, because if she went and wrestled for any of the competitors, I think that, it's going to make headlines.
Yeah, there is that as well. She's certainly training something competitive-wise, because she's been training in Mexico.
Yeah.
She was in Japan recently, teasing some dream matches over there. So maybe it is for another promotion. Who knows? We're going to find out soon. Speculation forever, friend. Tony Khan chatting to Justin Barrasso of Sports Illustrated about live events possibly for 2023.
Yeah, so basically what was said was it makes a lot of sense for AEW to expand our live calendar in 2023 and beyond. There are many places in the US and all over the world where AEW is very popular, and this is a strategic opportunity to expand. Sorry.
That was Sam expanding.
We also have Ring of Honor. There are a lot of exciting possibilities for us in live events, and Jeff has such extensive experience as a third-generation businessman in pro wrestling. He's got tremendous experience in a number of fields, including live event promotions and international distribution. His insight and knowledge are very valuable, and I'm excited to have Jeff join our great team. He is a good get.
Jeff Jarrett's a
he
phenomenal
is a very
get.
good get in terms of like the depth of his knowledge of running events, like the depth of his knowledge in, you know, all of the trial and error he had to go through in the early days of Impact, the very early days of iPay-per-view, and all of that stuff. He was sort of a pioneer in that respect, I'd say, you know, getting out there trying to do the whole weekly thing. But I think that while, you know, Jeff Jarrett, the wrestler, might have... people might have certain opinions of him. I think Jeff Jarrett, the businessman, and Jeff Jarrett, with the knowledge he's got, is very well suited to that position, because it was basically what WWE had him doing, wasn't it?
Yeah, completely.
So WWE saw it in him, you know, AEW sees it in him. That just speaks volumes.
I'm intrigued to see whether or not they go down the live event route, because like even like Andrew and I said this yesterday in the news, like even for WWE, like the biggest game in town, they've even pared back on like house shows and stuff.
Yeah, you know, because that used to be the bread and butter, like back in the day, before all of the expansion and TV deals, and even through a large portion of that through into the 90s, you know, the main thing that made the company money was live events. It wasn't so much TV. You know, you'd sell out all of these houses, you know, every other day, wherever in the country. But now, as times have changed, it's sort of been pared back a bit. And I think that AEW might be able to do it smart. I think WWE, it's all about the spectacle. So, you know, you expect to see them in arenas and stuff. But I'd be open to seeing AEW in a smaller setting and paying more money for it.
Yeah,
in a more intimate setting, like say something like the size of the Academy, like 1,000, 2,000 people.
Yeah.
And you charged a bit of a premium, but it's a very small environment in which you get to be closer, and it gives it more that indie feel that AEW's kind of got running through it.
I like the idea of wrestling in general returning to the Academy.
Yeah.
Castle.
Well, NX as it is now. I've not been in yet, but they've put red velvet ropes and stuff up. Gone are the sticky floors.
Hey, I wonder where Mia Yim is. What's the latest with her, Sam Driver?
Well, apparently, according to Fightful Select, they learned that WWE has strong interest in bringing Mia Yim back to the company. Yim was apparently released by WWE in November 2021 after a run on WWE Raw as Reckoning. How can we forget? And being swapped between brands without appearing anywhere. How could we forget? Yim didn't actually wrestle any matches for 15 months while being parked in WWE and having her non-compete run out. And I think this is very much a hangover of the prior regime. I think Mia Yim's somebody that the company would be able to do a lot of good with, provided they can find the right way to insert her into things. And I think that, you know, it's the one thing people are going to keep talking about is like it's some sort of tantalizing carrot. Like, are they going to try and lure Keith Lee back?
Oh,
and it's like, but I think, you know, people can get a bit too far down that alleyway, blinded a bit by, well, as long as, you know, both members of a couple are working, it doesn't so much matter where they're working if they're happy. But I think that there's going to be a lot of people going, maybe they'll use it to try and lure Keith Lee back. So it could be one of those things, but I think that she's definitely somebody that could do really well. Given the right presentation as well, because Jesus, like, just none of it worked. Like Reckoning, you know, you get out there, give it your best, but it felt just quite juvenile, didn't it?
Juvenile is a great way to describe it. It felt juvenile.
Which, you know, largely, you know, wrestling is and should be enjoyed by people of all ages. So I understand it, but it felt just a little bit naff, I guess.
That's it. That's the way to look at it. I thought that we'd see Mia Yim back on SmackDown last week when there was the open challenge. I was very surprised it was Emma that answered it.
Yeah, well, it's another name that I was kind of like, I can see this working.
So Triple H seems to be very keen to bring back some older names from the women's divisions to strengthen the roster.
They're names that he's worked closer with as well, though. And this is the thing, that it's talent that he probably knows inside out compared to the prior regime. So it's like he will know a lot of strengths and weaknesses that, you know, once they got thrown up to the main roster before, just sort of got left at the wayside.
Yeah, and he can actually spend some time and work with them.
Yeah.
And we want to spend some time with you today. Live reactions to Crown Jewel with Andrew and myself from 3 p.m. GMT. That's where the pre-show starts, and the main show starts at 4. Come watch. We're doing it for charity. It'd be lovely to have you as a part of our wonderful Crown Jewel watching family today. That's nice. And if you desperately want to get away from wrestling in 2022, why not download the Cultaholic Classic Nitro review? That's where Sam and I... Yes.
Talk about nothing.
Yeah.
It's like Seinfeld. It's the podcast about nothing.
No, it's about Nitro.
And Bovril. And 90s toys. And if you think the world sucks and it was better when you were a kid, this is basically the Grumpy Old Man podcast.
It is. And we welcome you. The door is open for you on that front as well. Subscribe to Cultaholic wherever you get your podcasts from.
I'm not going to see you until the 24th of this month.
I know, it's very rude if you're going on holiday.
Yeah, I'm off to California. So catch you all in a bit.
Don't wake him up because he's dreaming.
I'm going to write Mariah Carey a letter.
Nice of you. Have a lovely time in California.
I will do.
California Dreams was a great game. California Games was a great game on the Lynx Atari.
I had it on Sega Master System, and I while I spent a lot of time playing that game, I could not agree as an adult.
No,
I could never get hacky sack to work.
Did you find that the news is finished, by the way, but do stick around. Did you find that with the hacky sack one, it was really inconsistent? Like you'd press up at exactly the same time each time.
Yeah,
the hacky sack.
but you'd move slightly too far, or it wouldn't. Yeah.
Did you manage as I said, the news is finished, but stick around. The skateboarding bit. I could go one bit and then.
But you have to press up to go forward. And so,
isn't that just life?
It completely, but it it completely goes against the side to side of it because you have to press up in order to move forward with momentum. But you've got to do it at the right time, like you would in real life. Like there's a set point on a skate ramp where you bend, and that's sort of when you had to hit it, and that's how you could eventually get air. But it took me about 9 years to work that out.